Welcome to the session. Topic of this session is people's participation. A number of programs have been started, a number of policies have been started for agricultural and rural development. But there is a varying degree of success in each program. And basically all these programs, they were planned by the central authority. Of course, they use the all information related to the participant, related to the available resources, related to different problems, related to different stakeholders. They collect all the information, they use all the information. Still, the degree of success is varying from program to program. Basically, the central authority, they take the decision, maybe at the state level, maybe at the central level. They plan the program or a scheme or a policy, and they hand over this plan or a scheme to the local level people, the local level, the implementers, maybe from the government sector, maybe from the people, the common people. So there is a basic planning is done from the central level, and they give the program and policy as a prescription for the implementation at the local level. So that is the general trend. But this phenomena is changing over the period of time, and the to have more success, it was realized that there is a need to have a people participation in the policy, in the program, in the activities for the which are designed, which have intent to have the agricultural and rural development, which involve large number of the masses. So so it was felt need that there should be people participation. So though there are some examples are there of the people movement, in 40s or 60s, there are cooperative movement. The movement were started by the people to solve their problem. Like the Abul example is there. In that, people, they organize themselves and then set up the cooperative to supply the milk at Bombay. So there are various examples are there in the cooperative sectors where the people organize. So actually this session dealt with the people participation and their need of the people participation, importance of the people participation in the designing a program, for the upliftment or for the development of the rural sector, the agriculture sector. And people participation means the participation starting from the identification of issues, identification of the objectives of the identification of the resources, then the setting of the target group, or target objectives, then the different instruments to achieve the targets. So even the monitoring and evaluation is also done by the people who are the participants, who are the beneficiary of the program. So in this session, basically we are going to discuss about the people participation, its principle, its importance. So there are learning objective of this session. First is the explain the concept and importance of the participatory development, then describe the principles and philosophy underlying people participation, and the last objective of this session is to explain the key paradigm and specific consideration in participatory development approach. The concept of the development has gone under many changes. There are important changes over the period of time in the this process of the development. And basically there was a top down service delivery approach which we have followed in 1950s, 1960s and 1970s. And the scientific and rational planning was the hallmark of the development programs or policies or the schemes in the 50s to 70s. And the emphasis was on the centralized delivery system based on the efficiency of the civil personnel as agent of development. So basically the bureaucracy or bureaucrat who are at the helm of affair of the governments, they used to plan, they the schemes, the programs for the the program and schemes for the rural development. they used to identify, they used to fix the objectives of the development program, the instruments of the development program, and but this scheme or this approach was largely discredited due to no or slow trickle down effect. So actually, when it was thinks there will be the trickle down effect if the the upper section of the society is they got some development, and then the effect will be there on the poor people also. But this scheme or this approach was discredited. There was a less belief that there will be trickle down effect or the people will get their dues. So that's why the movement started, the for the people participation, and there are different factors which added in the failure of the the centralized system. Like there was a lack of reward and punishment for the development agent. So if a bureaucrat or a civil agent, they work very good, they got some success in the activities, but for them there was no reward system. If a person is not doing good, so there was no punishment system. And sometimes there was a lack of political will on the part of the government, sometimes. And the rural people, they did not feel involved at the local level, and therefore never owned the development program. Then new rural development paradigm started with the participation of the people in the development activity. This present agricultural and rural development paradigm revolve around the people. So basically, they strongly believe that the participation of the local people is essential at all levels for success and for achieving the desired outcome of a program. So the participation should be at all levels of the program, like starting from the need identification, the planning and designing of the program, the implementation of program, as well as the monitoring and evaluation of the program. And the participation has become a means to achieve the development. So it was treated as a means to achieve the development. And the participatory development basically focuses on the local institutions and local people. So what are the local societies, their communities, their group, and their decision making process at the local level, and the people, their resources, they are the main focus of this participatory development approach. And main objective of the participatory development approach is to support and strengthen the capabilities of the local people and their institutions. So so this program or this approach basically focuses on the capability or developing the capability of the local people to take the decisions, to enable them to take the decisions, and their to decide their course of action for their own development. And when we talk about the concept and characteristics of the people participation, basically, and the people involvement is in only some specific kind of problems were there earlier. In the centralized system of the approach, only people involvement was very limited. Actually, the involvement only at the last stage of the program, that is the implementation stage. But the concept of the people participation gained credence largely due to the failure of the trickle down growth model of the centralized development approach. And today the participation of people, they are viewed as the integral part of the overall development efforts. And basically they become a mean to and have a more effective poverty reduction programs, we can say. And this people participation provide window of opportunity for accelerating socio-economic progress in the society. And basically the people participation is the process of redistributing power in favor of the poor people or poor group of people. And actually this approach allow them to to participate on an equal part and control over the the development process. So the power of power redistribution in the way that they can take their own decisions. They can take control of the development process, the local people, and for that purpose, a favorable environment need to be created to enable them to interact on an equitable and genuinely collaborative basis. And here we can define the people's participation, the concept of people participation, and basically it is an interactive socio-political process, and it is basically the motivated by the desire to meet an individual's need and through a collective action on mutual benefit basis. So basically we can say the people participation is the socio-political process, and objective is to meet the individual needs through a collective actions, like in a cooperative model we do through a collective actions, and basically on mutual benefit basis. So actually the whole society is whole community is benefited in the program. And the another definition of the people participation is basically it is the process of giving priority to the local people's perspective in identifying and analyzing their problems and opportunities and improving the situation through their self-mobilization. So basically, it is the process of giving the or considering the people perspective in identifying or analyzing the problem and the opportunities to solve the problems, and for basically improving these situations through a self-mobilization. So here in the people participation, the approach is on basically insider. The focus is on the insiders, that is the local people's perspective, and this approach basically break the dependency syndrome. Sometimes we then and there is some problem is there in the area, we generally simply say that the government is not doing anything. So actually in that sentence we are dependent on the government, but when we talk about the people participation, it breaks that syndrome of dependence. Actually here the people, they are empowered to take the decision, empowered to solve their problem. So that's why this approach is basically a break of the this dependence syndrome, and basically it increases the awareness, and it also increases the self-confidence in the local people to solve their own problem. And there are different advantages of the people participation, and actually through this approach basically we make it possible to use the knowledge, experience and resources of the local people. So the local people, they have a lot of good knowledge, and they have the good experiences, and they also have resources. So we can utilize these resources in solving the problem at local level. And basically it is a learning process through which people can develop their capability. So when the people participate, they also learn and they also develop their capabilities in decision making, in their activities. And this approach help in the individual and in basically collective decision making and problem solving. This problem is basically empower the persons who participate in the process of the people participation. It empowers the people to take the decisions to involve in the problem solving solution. And when we have the people participation approach, the program is more likely to be success. We can say there is a possibility that the program will sustain for a longer period of time, and when the program will continue after the funding is over, the outside funding is over, and this support is reduced or withdrawn from the external agency. So it also prevents the hijacking of the program benefit by the wealthier section, because all the peoples are having equal saying in the program. So the program or benefit cannot be hijacked by the wealthier section. And actually it helps in the society to remain integrated. Lack of participation sometimes develop feeling of isolation and neglect, and they ultimately generate frustration and dissidence. So this if the peoples are involved, so this feeling of isolation will not be there, neglect of the people will not be there, and the frustrations or dissidence in the society will not be there. And there are different principles actually which guide and the people's movement or people's participation. And basically these principles are the driving force, or we can say a set of direction for the development activity with the approach of people participation. There are 5 principles. First is the mutual respect. Actually, all people must be accepted with their weaknesses and strength. So all the peoples who are there in the society, they should be treated equal, and whatever they weaknesses or strength have, we have to accept all the people with their strength and weaknesses, and there should be mutual respect among them. All the people should respect each other with their the feelings, with their opinions. We have to respect each other. And the active participation is another principle of the people's participation. The all the people in the program should participate actively. That is very essential conditions for the success of the people participation. And this participation should continue from the planning stage to the evaluation stage. And agree to disagree is another important principles of the people participation. And basically here we require an implicit and explicit understanding to agree and disagree. So that is very much required. And basically we should accept, or people should accept, common interest before the personal interest. So here more priority should be given the common interest, what the society, what the community, what the group of people want for their mutual benefit. So that is more important. So the people should put forward the common interest in place of the personal interest. And building consensus is another principles. Basically all the persons, they are responsible collectively for the decisions taken by the the people or the community of the people, and there should be a consensus among them for their decisions. For arriving at decision, there should be a consensus in designing the program. There should be consensus. There should be the consensus for the identifying instruments. And so for on every aspect there should be consensus among the people. So then only the people will participate in the activities or development activity. And the commitment to action is another important the principles. The all participating partner must commit themselves to action on agreed decisions and plan. And there are some philosophy behind the participatory development approach. There is some guiding principles. Yes, basically the for the promoting of the participatory development approach. And actually the purpose of this participatory development approach is to sensitize the peoples about their need, their resources, their capabilities, strength, also about their weaknesses. So basically it is the sensitization program, we can say. People will become aware about their own capability, their resources. And actually through this awareness programs, actually we increase the receptivity and ability of the rural people to respond to development program, and as well as encourage local initiatives. And here the participatory development program means it is the involvement in the decision making process, and actually it is directed towards the manipulative participation. Every stage some manipulation is there for the the manipulation of the participants, there for their own set of the the direction of the movement, how we are taking the program forward for meeting their objectives, to set their priorities. So every stage we have to manipulate the things. Manipulate means we have to give the proper direction to the activities, their identification of the things, and actually to take the decisions about their development path. So here to plan the actions and to plan the to execute the plan, So every stage we have to take the very conscious decisions after discussing everything, where shortcomings, there is good points, and then only we move forward in the participatory development approach. And basically, participatory development approach means the people share the common goals, and basically, the participants come together to take the collective action. And sometimes the nature and kinds of participation may differ for the people to prove at different level of stages. So actually, the participation or participatory development happens gradually. We cannot bring whole participatory approach at a time. Actually, it is the step by step as a result of various attempts and various sensitization programs, where and awareness programs. It is basically in a result of motivating the people to take participation in the development activities. So people put on the top of the development agenda. The central point of the participatory development approach is the people. So we always keep the people on the top of the development agenda. There they need to be organized, and they need to be helped to participate actively in the the development program or in a participatory development approach. So for that purpose, we need to arrange some special efforts to involve the people actively in the participatory development program. And actually, for that purpose, we need to make it feel that people are important and they are the responsible for achieving the objective of the development program. And there are different key paradigms of the participatory development approach, and they are basically we can say the characteristics or salient features of the participatory development program. And the primacy of the people is the most important key paradigm of the participatory development approach. And people are at the center stage. They are not an optional or convenient choice. So basically all the program is revolve around the people, and they are at the center. Their need, their resources are very important, and people interest must be taken into consideration. And the people's knowledge and skill is a positive contribution that we have to consider that. So whatever the knowledge or skills people have, that is the most important contribution for the achieving the program objective. So here we need to use the people's knowledge and local resources, and we need to avoid the dependence on the external assistance. And actually, we need to develop the local capabilities for achieving the objectives through the participatory development approach. And in the participatory approach, we need to also empower the woman. So people participation must empower the woman, and we need to develop some mechanism to reduce the gender inequality, and we need to involve the woman in the decision making process. And actually, we need to create some transforming changes against the the social or cultural barriers which are available in the sometimes in the rural society. And actually, in the another important key paradigm of the participatory development approach, the autonomy as opposed to the control. So here we need to invest responsibility with the local people. We need to build the feeling that peoples, they are participating, they are taking they are participating in the activity, they are the responsible person. So the feeling of responsibility we need to build in the program, and that is very important for the sustainability of the program. If people are not participating with their responsibility, it will be not sustained for the long time. So that's why we need to bring the autonomy in the people. Another key paradigm of participatory development approach is the local action as opposed to the local response. We need to encourage the local people to make decisions and to take action within the broad parameters. And it is not like the response where the people become passive, their participation become a passive. So actually there need to be the local actions so that the peoples are actively participate in the development approach. And the we need to allow flexibility in program directions. So, we need to accommodate the abilities of the local people to play increasing role and begin to assume the responsibilities. And there are some certain considerations or certain conditions which are required for participation of the people. And we need to develop, we need to create conducive situations for change in the people's behavior. So participation basically in the real sense means that there is a fundamental change in the behavior of the people, and there are certain conditions which are required for active people participation, and there are different ways to involve people to the development approach, in the participatory development approach. And the initiation is the one of the way in this process basically naturally bring the people together for common action, and it is based on the initiatives of the peoples, by people and for the people. So in initiation basically people, some peoples they come together and they start some activities for the benefit of the rural people. So here initiative is by the local people, and the facilitation another way to promote the participation. And this process is basically catalyzing actions are required from some outside agent, and it is planned intervention to create awareness and to motivate action by a group or a community. So basically here some people or some organizations come, they motivate the people, they facilitate the people's participation to actively participate in the development activity. Then cooperation is another way, and basically in the top-down process of the decision making or project, in the project program, where the programs are decided upon, designed and pegged by there's some central authority, or they are pegged for implementation in the rural communities or in the society, and then the implementation requires people to participate, then they are to be involved in the activity of the program. So in the co-optation basically the program is designed by some at the top of the top of the organization or on the top of the government, and they after designing the programs, when we talk about the implementation of that program, we come to the people and we involve the people to participate in the implementation activities. And induction is another way, and basically this is the process in which the power, social sanction and propaganda are used to brainwash the people. Actually here we run different types of campaign to convince the people to participate in a certain project or a program, so they become a part of the development activity. And now we can sum up this session that there is a transition from top down approach of development to the bottom up approach of development, and the participatory development basically focuses on the local institution and local people, and this approach basically empowers the people to set the direction of the development, set their priorities, make decisions about it, plan actions and execute them. And participation in the real sense means basically we need to bring some fundamental change in the behavior of the people, and there are different principles like mutual respect, active participation, agree to disagree, and consensus building, a commitment of actions. They make the participation a driving force and set the direction of the development. And it is the maximum community involvement, and the participation is the community involvement at all levels with emphasis on the cooperation, collaboration and shared resources. Thank you very much.